What's up? What's up? 7 a.m., 7:01 a.m. Sunday, October 26th. We're here live on the stream. We do a couple things on this stream. Every morning from 7 to 8 a.m., we're looking to help people get more connected and help them feel a bit less stressed. Here's how we do it. We help people get connected by answering their community questions and their communication questions. As my community here in Austin grows of dog parents, I'm sure people will have questions about play dates, about walks, about socializing at events, about following up with people, about remembering details about people, just building out their smaller communities and then communicating well at these events, because that's how you get plugged in. And there's a bunch of people moving to Austin every year. I think every month, like 12,000 move in every month. Some people leave for sure, but 12,000 moving in. And when you have those people moving in, anywhere from 2 to 5,000 of them have dogs. 5 to 12K move in, 2 to 5,000 have dogs. And, those are the people we're targeting for our matchmaking community every month, right? We want to get people in the door, hook them up, do what they need to do, to make their friends, because the sooner you can get connected, the sooner Austin can start to feel a bit more like home. And loneliness is real. Like, everybody can feel it, and I would like to decrease the number of people that feel it. So that's how we build community in real life. Dog Parent Social Club. I will say, as those people join, I'm expecting a lot more of them to call in and actually ask questions about community and communication. So I'll be probably answering a lot of those questions. But if you have any questions that are dog related, not dog related, event related, communication related, whatever it may be, feel free. Yep, that's at 7 a.m. That's that I woke up 15 minutes ago yawn. Feel free to hit me up and ask. So that's community, that's communication. Dog poop horror story, favorite dog story. That's just to make you laugh. We might get on YouTube and react to some dog videos too, because we just want a good laugh. Good laugh in the morning, and a reminder that we can take care of some of the stress that comes with dog poop in the backyard, because we have a poop scooping business, and also some of the stress that comes with spending money on dogs, because we're building out a discount club. So that's how we help you in real life. That's how we help you on the stream. Let's get it. Let's make sure we're live everywhere first. Good on YouTube. Good on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Yeah, so I think we're good to go. So guys, typically what I do right now, we are trying to, give me 1 second, talk about community segments and communication segments, dog poop reactions. And to do that, I need to go to my Google Drive and pull up the segments. Yeah, buddy. There we go. All right, let's see what we got cooking up this morning. Can everybody see me? Yep. Good to go. So, guys, today we're going to be talking about a little bit about communication. And when we're talking about communication, the domain we're talking about that's super important to communication is actual connection. You don't want to be talking to people and not connecting with them. And so, in order to connect with them, we want to become genuinely interested in others. That's what we're going through right now. And to do that, well, one aspect of it is remembering key details that they share. So this is gonna be like, okay, how do I remember key details they share? What's the uh, number one thing people forget within 5 seconds of meeting somebody, but is super important to the other person? Obviously, their name. It's super easy to forget people's names. I'm the first one who you'll tell me your name, and 10 seconds later, that was meant to be a whistle. Gone from my head, right? That was a sad fail of a whistle. But so the question is, what do you do when you forget someone's name? And that's what this segment's going to be about. I'm just actually getting down what I do. All right, guys, we almost got the segment cooked up. Let me put this on chat so I see if anything from chat comes in. No text-ins, no call-ins. Here we go. All right, here we go. Got to do a segue real quick. All right, here we go. So, not to flex, but I'm pretty freaking good at recovering from forgetting names. And I use these 4 tricks to figure out somebody's name again when it slips my mind. So, hopefully, they help you too. The first, I profusely apologize and reiterate care. I go over the top and I'm like, I'm sorry. I just can't remember your name. Could you let me know? I can't believe I forgot it because I've loved talking to you so much. Like, reiterate that care, profusely apologize. They'll be like, oh, it's totally fine. Here's my name. And you guys will get to laugh about it. They'll feel really loved by it, even though you forgot their name, right? The second, wait for somebody to call out their name and then write it down. This is a super simple one because you don't really have to admit that you forgot their name. You just kind of wait to hear it and you refer to them with body language or eye contact in the meantime. The third thing you could do is use the I'm a dad trick and go confidently for the wrong name. So maybe their name is Peter, but you go Michael. And then they're like, not really Michael. It's like, what? I was so sure your name is Michael. What is it? Right? So they'll be like, they'll feel a little awkward because you were so confident. It was like, it's not quite right. And then you could be like, but you were really confident though. And the key here is you can go back and like laugh at it. So you have to be able to laugh at yourself to get out of this one. Right? The fourth thing I'll use is ask somebody around you that knows them or was also introduced to them that won't put you on blast. And the won't put you on blast is key because if they make a big scene of like, oh, so-and-so forgot your name, you know, you've kind of, it has defeated the purpose of going to ask them. So ask them if they know them or were introduced to them and make sure they won't put you on blast because you trust them because they're a friend or they're just a kind person. Remember, forgetting names is normal. Recovering gracefully is the real skill. Use these 4 methods to save yourself from the embarrassment of forgetting people's names. So that's the clip, guys. That's the first segment on communication. I'm not gonna lie, wasn't that big a fan of that one, but it's real. And I'll tell you what, big advocate of how to win friends and influence people. In that book, it says one thing about a person's name is the sweetest sound to them. And so when you take the time, especially people who have complicated names. So let's say somebody moved here from another country. You know, they had to like learn English to assimilate to the US and they've like been through a lot, but they probably lost pieces of their culture and nobody really says their name right and they just make compromises on it. So when you take the time to remember their name and pronounce it correctly, it typically means a lot to them because it's one small piece that they carry from home, right? And so you never know what a name means to somebody. They take a lot of pride in their family, take a lot of pride in their culture, and their name could be a reflection of that. So you taking the time to know it, remember it, and pronounce it correctly can mean a lot to them. And other people, it's just the best way to get their attention. Like, if I'm just chilling, and somebody yells, Timmy, I'll look. But if they yell Michael, I won't look, right? And so with somebody's name, you have a lot of power over them, interestingly enough. And when they tell you their name, they're extending a lot of trust. Also super interesting. I forget this show. What was I watching? Oh, it was freaking Demon Slayer, bro. Oh, Demon Slayer is so good. If you guys haven't watched that movie, the new one, and you like watched any of the previous seasons, or you just like anime, or you just like good television, you should go check out Demon Slayer. I liked it a lot. But I think it was Akaza in Demon Slayer who was always asking people their name. Yeah, it was definitely Akaza, the upper 3 or whatever. He was always asking people their name. And it's like, some people wouldn't tell the demons their name. And it's because it's like, I don't trust you, demon. In Demon Slayer, I'm trying to slay you. Because I'm a demon slayer, you are a demon. Why would I tell you my name, right? So it's just an interesting dynamic because, you know, names can be sacred. Names have a lot of power. And you also see, like, in the Bible and stuff, like Peter, and Paul were renamed. I forget what Peter's name was before. Let me look it up. But Paul was Saul, and he turned to Paul. What was Peter's name? What was his name? I should know this, bro. Simon, son of Jonah. ChatGPT. Speaking of Bible, verse of the day, be strong, let your heart take courage, all you who wait for the Lord. So Peter went from Simon to Peter. Paul went from Saul to Paul. It's like these names are just important. Like, they're just important. And so when you take time to remember somebody's name, or you have forgotten somebody's name, forgetting somebody's name can be a bit offensive. You know, one, it communicates you're not important to me, and two, it's like you forgot something that's like a pretty unique identifier for me, you know? So that's why I always start with the first step, like profusely apologize, feel horrible about it, because you got like slight horrible person points for forgetting their name, but it's not a big deal because people are usually very gracious and just gracious with their grace. I don't know. Side note, Bridgerton is so funny. Like how they refer to each other as his grace, her grace, your grace, my grace. I don't know. It's just funny. It gets me. Anyway, when you profusely apologize, it's very important to go over the top. So it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I cannot believe I've forgotten your name. You just told me it 2 minutes ago, and we've had this lovely conversation, and it was like great to get to know you. So I want to cement your name. Can you tell me it one more time? Like, profusely apologize. Go over the top with that apology. Be like, bro, I forgot your name. Can you tell me one more time? It's like they don't care that you don't care, and you don't care by the way you're communicating. It's like it just does nothing for anybody. So do something for somebody and make them feel loved by like showing that you care with how deeply you apologize and how you reiterate the care during it. Just to like lighten the blow a little bit, lighten the moment. So be like, hey, yo, bro, it's not that deep. You just met me. Like, here's my name. You know what? I actually forgot your name too. So could you tell me again? So I feel like that'll actually happen a lot. Just check for your call-ins, check for chat, text-ins. Nothing going. Got one person on Twitch. Just wanted to say, hey. Cool. So profusely apologize and reiterate care. This is a simple one. Wait for somebody else to call out their name and then write it down. The awkward situation I thought about with this one is like, what if they call out the wrong name and then you just get it wrong? I guess then you move to step 3, but like I could totally see that happening because people suck, basically. Use the I'm a dad trick and go confidently for the wrong name, and then double back to ask again if you get weird reactions. This comes from my in-laws. Gracie would always talk about how her dad does a great job of like confidently going for the wrong name, and he's just so sure that it's the right name that sometimes people don't even correct him, because it's a one-off interaction. But if you do it and it's the wrong name and you get a reaction, just double back and ask again using the profusely apologize and reiterate care. Now this takes a bold one, and you have to be able to laugh at yourself, but instead of like apology to care, it ends up you laughing at yourself and making a fool of yourself. Be like, well, I can't believe I did that. What is your name, man? Sorry about that. And then you laugh at yourself a little bit, and you kind of make I'm not saying be self-deprecating, but a self-deprecating joke goes a long way for lightening the blow. Let's see what we got. Oh, ask somebody around you that knows them or was also introduced to them that won't put you on blast. So if you have a good friend in the area and it's like, hey, yeah, we both kind of heard their name, ask them. Be like, hey, what was their name again? And then you guys both cement it in your brains. Or if you're introduced by a mutual friend, you can ask them. Just make sure that they won't put you on blast. Typically, strangers won't put you on blast, and good friends won't put you on blast. But every now and then, some people have some friends who just like to put you on blast. So If you don't want to be put on blast, make sure you trust the people you're talking to, or you're not close enough with them for them to put you on blast, right? So anyway, that's what we got there on that communication segment. I want to like react to dog videos on stream, but I think my computer might freeze, so that's why I don't do that. Let's see. Interesting. Give me a second, guys. We're going to jump into this community segment in a little bit, but I want to make sure we get the hook right. I'm just looking at these hooks, guys. You're not bad at building community. You're just doing it alone. If you're the only one planning, that's not leadership. That's martyrdom. Here's why your group chat never helps until the day of the event. You're doing all the right things, just with the wrong rhythm. Stop begging for help. Start casting vision. People want to join. The reason no one helps isn't apathy, it's ownership. Here's how to create it. You're exhausted because you're carrying community instead of co-creating it. Everyone loves the party until it's time to plan it. Here's how to flip that. You don't need more helpers, you need co-owners. I actually like this. I'll go. We'll hit a segue. All right, here we go. So, guys, we're talking about community. We're talking about the characteristics of community. One of the ones I hold near and dear to my heart because I love quality time is proximity. In order to be proximate, one of the things you need to do is co-host gatherings. So, a question somebody might have is, why does planning stuff always fall on me? Like you say, co-host gatherings, but really what you're talking about is me hosting the gathering because nobody wants to host with me. And here is my response back to you. You're exhausted because you're carrying community instead of co-creating it. Real community doesn't come from doing more. It comes from inviting others in early. The first thing you need to do to invite others in early is cast the vision. Have something to invite them into because the people perish without a vision. The second thing, once the vision is cast, is to ask for help. Now, some people have friends around them that will not help them with the vision because they don't want to be in community, and that's okay. You got to wipe the dust off your feet and keep going because that takes us to step 3. If you ask for help and people say no, you want to invite people in who want to help and have a reason to help, which loops us back to step 1. If you want people to have a reason to help, cast a vision that is exciting enough for them to want to help. And after you've cast the vision, asked for help from your immediate people, and then if you got not enough yeses or you got too many no's, you want to invite people who want to help and give them a reason to help by linking their desire to the vision. The fourth step is leave it alone, because now you've gotten good people around you who are willing to help and who are excited to help. So you need to leave it alone and let them do their thing. You don't burn out building community if you build it with people. So make those invites. Cool, guys. That's our little segment on community. And I feel like I'm going to go through a little thought experiment for the next 10, 15 minutes about how I could apply that to the dog parent community. Because right now, I hop on stream every morning at 7 a.m. That can be a little exhausting because, well, it's like sometimes nobody comes, and I'm really on this for call-ins about community and communication. I would love for people to show up, but I haven't been doing it that long, so they don't always show up, so that can be tiring. So it's like, what could I do to cast a vision and ask for help there and invite people who want to help and have a reason to help? That's the real key. That's just advertising the stream, inviting people who want to help and have a reason to help, and making the vision compelling enough or funny enough, which is part of being compelling. So, yeah, it's like I can get exhausted doing the stream. I can get exhausted doing the Austin Dog Parent Social Club. Like just the other day, we had clips from our event that we ran at Blue Out Brewing, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago or something like that. We had clips, videos, and pictures that my wife took, Gracie. I didn't even take pictures, videos, didn't think to, wasn't going to. Gracie took some. That was super helpful because now we have something to post, right? And we can use that post to, just keep the good times rolling, if you will. Yeah, and I needed help to do that. Like I needed help to capture the post. I needed help to post the post because I was focused on other things. My brain was here or there, and sometimes it's just a confidence thing. Like you got to pull yourself out of this negative thinking and actually execute. If you don't plan well beforehand, or you're kind of in the beginning of doing something, execution can be very intimidating and it's easy to procrastinate. I know you all know what I'm feeling. And so when you have help, what you also have is a form of accountability. Like if Gracie didn't take those videos, she wouldn't have asked me about those videos. Those videos never would have gotten posted. So it's very important to have people around you that can hold you accountable And that's part of asking for help. That's part of having people pursue the vision with you. They're like, so where's this progress at? What are we doing? What's the plan? What's this? What's that? What's that? And so I feel like that's a cool thing. But when you're casting the vision, like I have this idea of helping people who are lonely feel connected. I think anybody who is lonely can get behind helping people feel connected, right? That's just, I don't know. They know how much it sucks to be lonely, so they can get behind it. Now, I will say, hold on one second. Is that vision compelling enough? Is it enticing enough? Is it specific enough? I don't think so, actually. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. So I'm trying to just think about the specifics of what kind of vision could I cast to get people to help in a really cool way, really fun way. I had somebody call me about the Austin Dog Parent Social Club just in general and say, hey, can I be your community ambassador? Like, I would love to help. So this idea of building community is enough, but I want to get like specific enough such that I'm compelled, because then it's much easier for me to sell people on it. And right now it's this vague personal goal of like, I want to help people who are lonely feel connected. I just want to figure out a way to make that more specific so that I can invite people into it, because that have people who are lonely feel more connected is very specific to me. Like, I have a high bar for connection. And I don't know if everybody shares that bar, but maybe that's it. It's like, define the high bar for connection. Define what you want your community to look like, and then really run after it. This was helpful, guys. This was helpful because I feel like, Gary Vee is always saying, you're the niche. And I think I have a particularly high bar for community just because I'm such a quality time guy. And I find it strange that people can live such separate lives and be so close. It's like, you're not that close. You may feel like, I don't know. I measure how close I am with somebody based on how much my life would change if they were gone tomorrow. So Gracie and I, extremely close. My entire life would change. I'm not that close with anybody else. It's like pretty close with my brother because we wouldn't trade together anymore. Like, I'd probably stop improving as a trader as much as I am. That's probably wouldn't be as fun anymore. I don't know if it would necessarily fall off because I know enough now to do it myself. But so I'm pretty close with my brother. But it's like, all the friends I have, I could up and leave tomorrow and it wouldn't really impact anybody's life, which is just like, I guess by that token, I'm pretty close with my colleagues, but also not, because they could replace me in like a week or two. So, we're going after the thing together, but it's only been a month and a half. They could replace me. It just doesn't I don't know. I guess it's almost been 2 months. It just has me thinking, guys, about actually being close with somebody, actually giving people a vision to kind of run after together. And that's why I say, like, I have those stages of community. You have small talk, you have consistent activity, you have vulnerability, and then you have more consistent activity. Until you get to more consistent activity, your life really isn't impacted by somebody leaving it. Maybe it's just how I've looked at it, but it's like, yeah, consistent activity. And it's like, yeah, you go to church with them, you go to small group with them, but those are the only things you do. Like, people change churches all the time, and it's like the church keeps going, the small group keeps going, like, and nothing else in your life changes because your interaction with that person was very segmented. Similarly, if you go to more consistent activity, it's like, okay, so I worked out with that person, I ate meals with that person, and I worked with that person, and we went to church together. Okay, so now, if they up and move, you don't have a workout partner, your colleague left, somebody you're close to at your church left, and you probably have to cook more food because you probably swapped sharing meals, et cetera, et cetera. And they probably had some really good food that you liked, right? That you don't know how to cook. So more life change, but still not that much. Like that would hurt. You'd be sad to see them go, but you'd be fine. And there's like getting into being on mission together. And there's time towards goal, time and money towards goal, and then interdependence towards goal. And this is where it really starts to hurt. Because time towards goal, it's like, hey, I'm spending 15 hours a week doing this thing. You're spending 15 hours a week doing this thing. It's like we are walking towards something together. And that's where strong friendships are forged. Not only are we walking towards it together in step 5, but you get to stage 6 of community. And now we're putting our time and money towards it. So not just my free evenings, not just my free mornings, but my discretionary income. Maybe I'm making some sacrifice in my life to draw more income towards it, to pull it forward. And then you get to interdependence on goal. Yeah, I rely on you for your time. Yeah, I rely on you for your money. But neither of us were skilled such that we needed the other person, right? If you get into a partnership, like a business partnership, and that's not the case, you need to get into a different partnership. But say you guys are starting from zero and you're developing those skills together. Eventually, you're going to specialize. And when you specialize, say it's like this person's really good at talking to people, like one-to-one or one-to-small group, and I'm good at doing a lot of public speaking. So they get really good at leading small groups. You get really good at public speaking. And that's how you guys are kind of building out your community. That's some interdependence. So now you guys are putting time towards it, maybe 15 hours a week, money towards it, maybe $1,500 to $5,000 a month, depending on what your income looks like and what your expenses look like. Could be $500 a month, could be $200 a month, but time and money. But now you're interdependent. It's like, hey, there's a piece of this that is like we deal in small groups. Then there's a piece of this that we deal in public speaking. If you leave me, I have nobody to deal in small groups. And that compromises the mission and changes my life and adds a lot of stress to my life in a very real way. So until you're depending on somebody to cover something that is important to you and important to the mission, I feel like that's where peak closeness is, because you're working really hard towards something together and I'm depending on you. And I don't know like the inherent definition for trust, but I have stage 3 vulnerability. So stage 1 is small talk. Stage 2 is consistent activity. Stage 3 of community is vulnerability. It's where you start to tell people about your life after a little bit of consistent activity with them, right? That isn't super vulnerable to me. Like when I start to tell people about my life, that's not where I get vulnerable. Where I feel the most vulnerable is when I trust somebody to do something that is important to me. So that's like a stage 5, 6, and 7 vulnerability for me. But I have vulnerability because some people have trouble telling people about their past, telling people about how they feel, telling people about this, that, and the other. I don't have as much trouble with that because I know you knowing that information can't really do anything to me. Like there's no real consequences. But if I trust you in the face of consequences, that's where I feel vulnerable. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I don't even know how I got on that tangent. We were just talking about casting the vision. Yeah, but ideally that vision is like we move from consistent activity to time on goal, money on goal, interdependence toward goal. And I was just really wanting to discuss how one, vulnerability is in stages 5, 6, and 7. And really the vision should be specific enough and serious enough that you can move throughout the whole stages of community with the vision. And you have ways to kind of get people from small talk to consistent activity to like, hey, let's do something really awesome together. Sounds like a sales funnel, and honestly, it kind of is, at least how I think about it, which I know sounds inauthentic, but sales at its basic root is just like helping somebody get out of the way when they're thinking about doing something that would be good for them, right? I'm not forcing anybody to do something. I'm like, hey, here's some offers. Here's why it makes sense for us. Here's why it makes sense for you. If it does, like, let's move forward. If not, no worries, right? So just some stuff that I am thinking about when it comes to community. Gary Vee saying you're the niche, and like, it was my real viewpoint on community. I think that's what it is. So I was talking about these stages because I'm like, that is what I feel about community. And maybe I just make the vision more specific to those stages. It's like, hey, I want us dedicating X amount of time, X amount of effort towards this goal, towards this end. It's like, that will attract some people and it won't attract others, comma, and that's okay. So that's what casting the vision is. That's what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about casting the vision. But then asking for help. This is a hard one for me. And maybe I'll have some revelation live on stream right now, but I kind of doubt it. Won't lie. Sorry guys, I'm checking my ads real quick. Forever. I will run to you. I will worship you. Sorry guys, got sidetracked because my ads. We're running a $9 matchmaking offer with a $600 upsell, and just curious, we're getting a low kind of a very high cost per click right now, like $4.50 or something like that, and I bet it's because the offer is kind of a dud. Albeit we've only spent $13 on it, so kind of just need to let it sit for a little bit. Like, really, I'd pay $300 to get a client for the $600 upsell. So if I can get like $50 to get one person to sign up for the $9 thing, and then 1 out of 5 of those sign up for the higher thing. So 1 out of 6 sign up for the higher thing, I could pay $50. So it might be $50 so I get a purchase. So as long as I get 10 clicks and 1 buys. Anyway, sorry for talking about math. Nobody likes when I talk about math, but I like when I live in the business math side of things. So cool. We're going to keep going on this segment. And then, we might just chill for a little bit on stream, close it out early, just shoot the breeze, if you will. After you cast the vision, you want to ask for help. So this one's hard for me because when I think about asking for help, I'm like, how do you ask? Because you're asking for time and effort from people. And there has to be an exchange of something. Like, for example, if you're growing a business and you're asking employees to come help you, but you're not giving them equity and you're not giving them salary, it like doesn't really make sense, you know? And so in the early days, you might give away equity to employees to get free help, right? Which, that makes sense, whatever. You might get equity or you might give equity to employees. You might take on debt to give salary to employees, or you might go raise money to give salary to them, which is just another type of debt, honestly, to give salary to employees so that you can go recruit good help for the vision that you have. But when you're trying to bootstrap something, maybe I'm going to have a revelation on stream. It's like you're asking for help, but it's like you got to help yourself to start, and you have to become something that is exciting enough to want to help. So you can't just have somebody do the hard work for you. You have to go through the hard stuff to become an inspiration. And then after you have become an inspiration, maybe you've produced some results and resources that you can deploy to get help, or maybe what you've done is so cool, people just come out of the woodworks to start to help you. But the key is to start doing something. And so I think I've gotten caught up here. It's like I've cast the vision. I'm like, ooh, this is so exciting. Like, yada, yada. Let me go ask a bunch of people for help. And it's like, can you execute that at all? Even a little bit? Nobody believes it. Like, nobody believes the vision can come to fruition even a little bit. So you need to start making progress towards the vision and like lay it out. A dream without goals is just a dream. But a dream with goals can become a plan, right? I think that came from a Denzel speech I watched in the past week or two. And so if you have a huge vision, but you can't bring that vision from this big, hairy, audacious goal 15 years from now to right now, it's going to be really hard to ask for help because, one, you don't even know what you need to do right now. So you don't know who you need to become. You don't know what kind of help you need. But two, you can't demonstrate any sort of progress towards the goal. Because if you can demonstrate that your plan's working, but the goal is a long way out, it's much easier to convince people to join you for the ride. At least that's how I think about it. So, yeah, when you're asking for help, it's like, how can I take this big, hairy, audacious goal, bring it into the moment, and execute on it myself? How can I help myself first? So when you are first asking for help, oh, I like this. This almost needs to be another segment. When you are first asking for help, sorry guys, trying to pop my hips. Your boy just did leg day and it's feeling like it needs to pop, but it's not quite popping. When you're first going to ask for help from yourself. Because that's who needs to show up for you first. You. So I'm saying that because once you start to execute, once you start to show up for yourself, once you start to draw the boundaries, once you start to make the sacrifices, people will look at you and they'll think you're crazy. Yep. I bet you thought I was going to say something else. Nope. They're going to think you're crazy. They're going to tell you to stop. They'll be like, why would you do that? And those are the very people who, this is you asking for help. You're showing up for yourself to start. If they're discouraging you, cut them out. Or at least decrease the amount of time you spend listening to them and decrease the amount of credence. I think, dude, credence. What does that mean? I think it's to give credit to. I don't know, but if it does, that was baller that I just pulled that out like that. Let's see. Oh, Credence is a dark romance novel by Penelope Douglas. Wow. Another last name Douglas. Shout out Penelope. Belief in or acceptance of something as true. Boom. Your boy killed that. Stop giving credence to negative people's opinions. Don't believe it. Don't accept it. Man, that was a perfect use of credence. I'm very proud of myself. Man, my hips won't pop. So you ask for help to weed out the people who will actually help, and that preps you for step 3. But first, you got to help yourself. So if you're one of those negative people, which a lot of us are, in fact, most of us are the main reason we don't get up off our rumps and do anything, because we're that negative person in our own ear saying that we can't do it. And so the first person you need to ask for help from is yourself. Are you willing to put in the time? Are you willing to put in the effort? Are you willing to put in the money? And this is great for me because I'm coming on here and I'm like, hey, my focus for the next year is to build world-class community and become a top 1% creator. So what does it take to build world-class community? What does it take to become a top 1% creator? Let me sit down. Let me list out all the resources I have and let me put it in a calendar and put it in a budget, because you have time, you have money, you have connections. So it's like, how can I use my money to learn how to be a better creator, to learn how to build community better? How can I spend my time speeding up feedback loops so that I can get more feedback so that I can build better community? Like, what needs to happen for those things? Oh, guys, I'm going to read this real quick. This hit. I was listening to Hormozy the other day, as I usually do on any normal day. And it's like, what would it take to hit that big goal you have in terms of volume? What do you actually have to do? That's the first question you ask. So when you're asking for help from yourself, it's like, what would it take to actually hit that big goal? What would I need to do? What money would I need to spend? What time would I need to spend? What people would I need to have around me in terms of volume? What do I actually have to do? And when you ask yourself that, like maybe you want to get to 7.5 million EBITDA in a business in the next 2 years, which is insane. But ask yourself, what do I actually have to do? And it starts with some sales. It's like, okay, to get to $7.5 million a year in profit, say you're at 40% profit margin, you have to do $18 million in revenue. Divide that by 12, that's $1.562 million a year. If you're at $1.562 million a year, or a month, I'm sorry, selling $600 things, you gotta sell $2,650 of these $600 things every month. And if you have to sell $2,650, but only 15% upsell, that means you need to sell $17,009 things, $17,666 $9 things. Then you'll get your $2,600 $600 things, and then you will get your 1.5 million revenue. But the key is that 17,666, you're getting 1.56 in revenue, but say it costs you $60 to acquire a customer. It's like $1,060,000 in ad spend to like get those 17,000 people to sign up to give you $9, and then they give you $600. But as you can see, now we're at $150,000 plus 1.562. We're at like 1.7 million in revenue and 1 million in expenses. So now you're really hitting your 700K profit. Yeah, and you hit your 8.4. Like, look at that. That's actually pretty cool. But yeah, it's just the things that you think about, like, what does it take? Then after you figure out what it takes, sorry guys, I went on my numbers. You guys can tell I love the numbers. What resources are required to hit 1,040,000 in ad spend every month? Well, first, you need great creative. Second, you need to have great creative. You need good idea generation, good filming, and good editing. To have idea generation, you either need to become good at ideas or somebody needs to do it for you. To have good filming, you need to hire a videographer probably. And have good editing, you need to hire good editors. How can I do that? You need money to do all of those things. Also, for the ad spend, you need money. So I need a base unit right now that I can scale up where I spend $9, get $15, and use that $6 in profit to pay for the editor, the videographer, the idea generator, and the ads. And that's why it's so important to have a good money model. Just sell Hormozi's book. But that's what I'm so focused on right now, because when you have limited financial resources, you have to make capital not a constraint when you're scaling, which means you have to spend 15 and get 45. And then you use that 30 to spend 15 more to get another 45 more, and the other 15 for the kind of baseline infrastructure for the 40 that you spent initially, or the 15 you spent initially. Spend 15, get 45. Use the 30, another 15 to get another 45. The other 15, the other infrastructure to get to 45, right? So you have the actual ad spend, then the infrastructure to make the ads work and make the business work. So maybe $3 on fulfillment, $12 on filming and editing, or vice versa. And so that's just kind of how I'm thinking about it. That's why I'm trying to crack the money model, because I want to really help people with loneliness. And I want to do that by connecting dog parents and hosting epic events and having world-class community, which means basically I can take somebody from small talk to, I'm just casting the vision right now, but I need to ask myself for help. Getting back to that, I want to take people from small talk to interdependence towards the goal. But in order to do that, got to figure out the money model, which means I need to ask myself for help on what does it take to figure out the money model. So that's what the ads are for. That's what the testing is for. That's what I keep checking the ads for, because that's kind of how my brain works around it. And I have to ask myself for help first. And once I've done that, it allows me to ixnay everybody who's not, or stop giving credence to everybody who doesn't want to help, stop giving credence to the parts of me that don't want to help. And then I get to invite people to help once I start to make cool progress. Like when I spent $800 on the event, one person reached out to me from the 230 people who are interested and 27 people who RSVP'd and said, I would love to help you run these events by being your community ambassador. So once you start to execute on the vision, you can invite people who want to help because they have a reason to help, because you attract the people who are about the thing you're trying to do, but also you may not have to invite them. They might come to you. So that's just some of the stuff I'm thinking about, guys. Sorry, this community segment went a little bit longer than I thought. I thought we were going to have a bit more chill time, just chatting time towards the end of the stream. But, I'm just trying to help people feel more connected. And to do that, it costs a decent chunk of money. So I got to figure out how to cycle money quickly. Cycling money quickly. Anyway, that's what we got for you guys today on the stream. Thanks for tuning in on a Sunday morning. I hope everybody's Sunday morning goes well. If you're not at church, think about going. Jesus wants you there. I'll be going to church later today. I think I got a lift coming up too. We're gonna hit the gym, probably walk around the lake a little bit, and then just chill. I'll check my ads. Try to think a little bit more about how to become a top 1% creator and world-class community builder, right? Cool. Last check for chat. Last check for anybody texting in, calling in before I end the stream and go on about my merry, merry Sunday. All right. Got nothing. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining me to talk about community. Thanks for joining me to talk about communication. Eventually, I'm going to get another computer hooked up to a desktop or two. And once I get it hooked up to those monitors, so I have the computer, I just need the monitors. I think I'll be able to have two things going. I'll be able to have the stream going, and I'll be able to share my screen. So you'll be able to see me trade every morning. You'll be able to see me react to dog poop horror stories and favorite dog stories on YouTube and such. And so I think that'll be pretty fun. But appreciate you guys coming out, and we'll see ya tomorrow.